Hey everybody, welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Reba here. So everything's still looking pretty good in the backyard. A lot of the fig trees have lignified or are still in the process of lignifying. They have pretty much lost all of their leaves, and we're in the back garden right now. I do have a little container garden all set up on the front porch area now. So that up front's doing pretty good. A lot of that up front is on the south facing wall of the house, and it gets pretty good sunlight, so there's quite a few things that still have their leaves, which is pretty remarkable. In fact, a couple of my fig trees are still hanging on the front porch. So yeah, and everything is looking good. This is my first time out in the backyard in several weeks, and we're just gonna take a look real quick, you guys. So check on our herbs first. Since I haven't been back here, I haven't been picking up the dog bombs, so I have to look out for those too. I am going to go ahead and cut back all of these scraggly bits on my oregano. This is the hot and spicy one that I have. I love it, but I didn't really use it this year. I just let it grow. It looks like it's still flowering here. Everything looks pretty damp, so it doesn't look like I need to water it. This is my St. John's wort pot. I'm going to go ahead and give it a trim back too, make it look beautiful. And then this is my lemon thyme container, and I got a lot of growth hanging over, and I just think it looks really, really beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to cut it back the same way. I kind of want to just leave it alone, and then maybe take some starts from it in the spring from the outer growth and start some more in another container, because I like to freshen up my containers every couple years and have it be close to the ground level. And but yeah, that's how it's looking. And I do have 3 different types of lemon thyme in this container pot. I have a silver drop, I believe, and a golden colored one, and then I have a straight up just regular, no, I think it's right here. This one is just one solid color, and it has really, really great flavor. So yeah, they look really beautiful. And then coming over here, my lavender, you guys, is doing really, really wonderful. I did sell, actually no, I just gave them away. I put them out on the curb and I just let somebody come and take them. And so somebody got some lavender plants, which is really awesome. But I have the, they call it eyelash lavender, and I can't remember. I've done a video in the past that kind of tells me which one's which. So this one's the French lavender here, the eyelash lavender, and it has those really, really pretty serrated edges, you guys. But we also have blossoms that have formed, so it's really liking this spot. And then I've got some other lavender. It looks like it did root because it's still alive. So, and then I've got the Spanish in the back right there. And this one I believe is English right here. So they all have a different hue and a different color to the foliage, which is really beautiful. And then in this one I have, the tricolor didn't make it, so I'll probably have to see if they'll have it again this next year, and I'm going to get several of those. I'm going to buy several of those this next spring, if they are still carrying them in the nurseries. It's really hard to find them, you know, after a few years. They'll like do the chocolate mint for a few years kind of thing, and then they won't be selling the chocolate mint in, you know, the big box stores. So last year they had the tri-sage, and I didn't get any new because I still had the one, but the other one died back, so I don't have it anymore, so I do want to get it. This is just common sage here, and then this is my golden sage, and I love it. And this is a bicolor, so yeah, it's a golden bicolor sage, but it looks, to me it looks golden, so I don't know, I just went with it. And then this is that hot lip salvia, and or also known as autumn sage, and I got this from a clipping, stuck it in the ground, and it rooted, you guys. And so it's really taken off. Does really, really great in the Pacific Northwest, and it provides a lot of nectar to hummingbirds. They love it. So I'm really happy that it's winter now, and we're at the beginning of December 1st, and I still have something that the hummingbirds can come feed off of, which is really nice. Speaking of which, I do need to refill their hummingbird feeders. Right here is some of my lemon verbena. Now I've got 2 container pots with lemon verbena now, and I love having that. So I can come out here and I can get this to cook with if I want. And this one here is my other herb. It's looking kind of crispy in some areas, but it is the variegated oregano. And so I just need to come in here and do this number here. And voila. It looks beautiful again. And then I'm just holding a emerald carpet style cutting that I found on the side of the road when I was going for a walk with my sister-in-law. Here is my what is it called, horehound, and you can make cough drops with this. It helps with the throat and congestion, and also helps with if you have a cough. So you can pick the leaves and you can steep it and create a liquid, and then you can create lozenges, like a type of candy that you can suck on, like you get at the store, but you can make homemade ones using this and some other ingredients, of course. But this is how it's looking, and I'm really pleased with it. It looks like the cuttings did root that I took off of it to try to make it bush out more. So I expect that I'll have a lot more of it next year. I am so stoked about it because I love this plant. I used to just chew on it when I was a kid. So I'm really excited to have it. And it's really pretty and soft, and it's just has a really nice aromatic flavor or smell to it. Flavor, well, that too. And then here I've got tarragon in this one. I've got 2 different types. I want to say French and let me see, I have Mexican and French. So this one here was the French, and then this one back in here is the tarragon. And then I also have that Adobe Sunrise cuttings that I had took off of my main Adobe Sunrise plant and put in here because my plant was getting too big and I wanted to downsize it for when we go to move. And plus I was able to get a little bit of money out of it. There's that. But yeah, so I've got cuttings from it in here, and then there's another rose bush on this side that I'm not sure what variety it is, and it didn't make blossoms last year, but it did survive the transplant away from the quince that I had it planted with. So it's looking good. So hopefully next year maybe I'll get some blooms on this one, and I'll find out what color it is. I'm hoping it's a purple one, but you never know. And then in here I've got my Roman chamomile and my fennel planted, and my bronze fennel is looking absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'm going to clip off all this older growth, and then it's going to look really beautiful. And then in this one is my salad burnet, and the soil's really soft on that side, and so my pot keeps tipping over, so, or the whole section keeps leaning, so I'll have to clean that up. But that's looking really good. In the winter time it does get more of a bitter flavor to it, so it's better fresh eating. In the summertime it has a more mild cucumber flavor, and it's really excellent to put into your salads. And so if you don't have a cucumber and you want that cucumber flavor, that's really excellent. So use more of that in your salads, you guys. And coming on over here, you guys, we've got all my mint over here. I do need to trim it back again, and I'm going to try to stay on top of it next year if we're still living here. And I'm going to be transplanting this, it's a honeysuckle. I'm going to be repotting it into a container, a smaller container pot, and possibly selling it. And yeah, so that way it's not there. I'm thinking the small amount of herbs that I have planted in here, like the thyme, the German thyme, and the mint, and I might have oregano planted in here. I think those will be just fine to leave here when we move. And then I've got my kale growing, and the kale is really loving this time of year. It's slow growing, but it is growing really well. This one down here looks really great. They had gotten attacked by aphids, so I need to come in through, clean them all up, make it look beautiful over here. And I don't think I'm going to be planting much of anything in with them next year. I'm thinking I'm just going to keep it with like kales and that sort of thing, because it's just so much easier to not have a whole lot of other stuff along the fence line, and I don't have to worry about it a whole lot. So that's how it's all looking. My dog seems to like it over here, don't you? All right, and then right here I've got my little group of gooseberries. I need to go through and clean out the weeds out of the pots, so the plants don't have to compete for that. I'm going to try my best this next year to really stay on top of the the pest control on these. The aphids keep getting all of my gooseberries, so I'm hoping this next year that I can really just tackle that and really protect them so much more. I didn't do any pruning on them this year. I have left them completely alone. I do want to add the pink pixwell, black velvet, and one other gooseberry to my collection. And I don't, I think it's really funny because I have this channel. It's called Gooseberry Homestead. But the only reason why it's called Gooseberry Homestead is because my very, very, very first video, when I started getting into gardening really and asking questions and got me really started with this YouTube channel, was a question about a gooseberry variety, because it just said gooseberry on the label and it didn't specify what variety of gooseberry it was. So I had absolutely zero clue, and nobody ever really commented on it. I mean, might be a couple comments on that video, but yeah, so I mean, I still have the video, and my kids snuck in and added music to the video, so it kind of drowns me out. Oh, Walter, sorry you guys. And so that's why the channel's called the Gooseberry Homestead, is because I ultimately had that one video at the very beginning that I had done, and so that's why I named the channel Gooseberry Homestead. I basically have more elderberries and way more, actually probably at this point I honestly think I have more varieties of fig trees than I do of any other type of fruit that I'm growing in my backyard garden. So I think it's ironic, that my channel's named Gooseberry Homestead, yet my husband's like, but you do everything but the gooseberries. So while I am a collector at heart when it comes to certain things, I'm also not really into needing to collect. I don't feel the need to collect all the different varieties of gooseberries. So at least not at this time. I mean, I've said in the past I wanted to, but I mean, I've been thinking about it more lately, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm thinking it might just be good to have a small handful of them and then propagate from those. I think that the pink pixwell would be a really great addition, and I am really into the dessert varieties of them, fresh eating types that aren't too tart. And maybe later I'll get a tart one, but I want to do my research and find out which one I really want to have. And so I'm leaning towards maybe the yellow variety one. So I'm not quite sure if I want it to be a straight up green or a yellowish green variety. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I definitely want the pink pixwell, and there was another one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really pretty variety too. So along with the ones that I have grown from seed here, and wishing I kind of never would have sold off all of the other varieties until they actually started fruiting, because I've learned so much more in the last few years about how seeds work, and kind of wishing I would not have sold any of those. And I had like about 35 different seedlings that I had. And I wish I would have just taken cuttings off of those instead of actually selling them. But, it is what it is, and I've done what I've done, and so we're here now. So I do have an Oregon Champion, I believe, over here, and I picked up I think it's a red Hikoman. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. And then I have all of my varieties that I've grown from seed, and I had 2 different varieties of gooseberries that I had collected from seed, one from a store-bought, and then one from the one that I had in my backyard that I didn't know the variety of. And the one that was the store-bought variety has already produced oh, the squirrels are fighting. Oh, they're mad at each other. Oh, they are attacking one another up and down the tree. Oh no. What's going on, you guys? Holy smokes. They are not happy with each other. They're like up there somewheres. They go, they disappeared. Oh, they're fighting. Oh my goodness. Okay, back to the gooseberries. All right, so yeah, so I did get to taste those ones, and then the Hikoman, the red one that I had, tasted like dirt. I did not like the flavor of that one, so I don't think that one's going to be staying in my collection. I don't want to really just get rid of it right away because I really want to give it another year or so to see how the flavor develops, because it might be one that I have it. They are fighting again. It might just be that they are that it's in a container and then it had been neglected, and it might be, I need to take it out and check the roots. It might be root bound, so there could be a possibility of different elements that could have made the berries taste like crap. But on the plus side, it did produce fruit, so there is that. So I may just go ahead and hold on to it a little bit longer and not get rid of it right away. It is in a 1 gallon container right now, so that helps with, it not taking up a lot of space. Then moving on, I have some more kale and kohlrabi and stuff that I just threw out of those little containers, and I just tossed them into these containers here and have kind of forgotten about them. And I got like hoses draped over them and all that. I've just kind of just let it be and just letting nature do its own thing. If it survived, it survived. If it didn't, it didn't. And I'm going to be checking back with these. I had a couple different kales in there, a rainbow and a red boar or something like that. So I'll have to check on those and see how those are looking. My pawpaws have lost all of their leaves, you guys, as well as all of my figs. Battery's running low. I need to replace my battery and my screen on my phone. Finally got all of those components. I just need to take it apart and do it because my phone dies really fast. So all of these are looking good. It looks like this chestnut tree is hanging on. It had lost all of its leaves earlier in their season due to a sunburn, because we had a really hot day and it lost all of its leaves. And then it grew all these new ones, so it took a little bit longer to lose its leaves again. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then this is my Ben's Gold Rainbow, Robert's Golden Rainbow right here. And this is Ben's, it's a little bit bigger one. And this other one's Yellow Longneck. Planted them all together in this huge container, close density planting. Just wanting to see how they all compare with one another. And then here is one of my other fig trees. I'm not going to go through all the names of the fig trees right now. We'll do that in another video. I've got an extra pot here that I can put some figs into. And all these ones are looking good. None of the figs that were developing on them made it. So I will have to wait till next year, and hopefully I'll be getting some. I've got some of that variegated oregano planted in this container. I'll probably be moving that out so that my figs don't have any competition. And then moving on, coming down this way, I do need to come out here and check my figs because some of my straps are off of them that hold them to their stakes and whatnot. Everything is looking pretty well. I'm seeing some really good lignification here. Some of them are still needing to lignify a little bit more, but for the most part, they are looking really good. And I'm really, really happy. Some of them are still in their smaller containers. That's the honey plum. And I think this one here is one of the other ones. Oh, it looks like one of my tags fell off here. This is the frost peach. So it must have come off of this one here. This is probably my frost peach here. I do need to come in through here. I don't know what or how. I'm gonna just gently put it on because I don't want to damage the fruit spurs. But just wiggling them back and forth until I get down without breaking anything. I just keep hearing these scrabbling sounds from those squirrels. So everything is producing, their fruiting spurs are looking really, really beautiful. I will be having fruit on, looks like Rainier Cherry next year. I've got quite a few fruiting spurs on here, as well as this one here. Which one was that? The Sour Cherry. I've got quite a few fruiting spurs on that one as well. And I have some that are developing on the other ones also. Some of my apple trees still have green leaves, and some of them are kind of yellowish. These ones are in the 1 gallon containers. Do need to come over here and pick some up. It looks like the wind blew it over. No big deal. This is where I filled in some of the holes in the yard. I was always getting my ankles bent up on them. And then I've got all of my blueberries surrounding the greenhouse now. The greenhouse is lowered. I just have a top over the top, and then it's free airflow. So I just really wanted to keep the frost off of it for the most part, because these are some of the younger plants. But I didn't want to completely isolate them. So if things make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. I'm not going to worry about it a whole lot. But everything's looking good in here. And they have time to lignify because they're a little protected from everything. But it looks like most of the leaves have dropped now off of the fig trees in there. And then over here, I've got all my raspberries and blackberries. And I will be adding some to them this year. I'm wanting to add the Colombian Star, and there's a couple other ones that I was wanting to add to my collection. And then I also want to get rid of some. So I'm getting rid of the blackberries that have all the spines on them. I don't like those. I can handle raspberry thorns because they're a little bit softer and they're not as curved hooked. So I don't mind having spikes. I just don't want the curved ones. I will only deal with the roses with the curved hooks. So I'm not really liking blackberries that have the thorns, so I'm getting rid of those. And then these are all my elderberries along here in this section. They, for the most part, have lost all their leaves. I do have some that still have a couple leaves. Looks like about 4 or 5 of them still have some leaves. So I'm going to be going through and just looking at their leaves and seeing how they all look. And then I've got my grapevines and some of my other flower bushes and such down this way. And then same in this area here. I do have some flowers and different things down in this area. So up along this area. Looks like one of my things got knocked over by the wind, and some blueberries finally lost all their leaves. It took a little while, but everything's looking really good, you guys, here in the garden. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, click that bell button. As always, have a wonderful day, and God bless. Love what you grow what you love. Bye.